So today I'm going to finally share my recipe, which has been kind of adapted off of my grandma's recipe, my grandma Pat Brownfield. She made a cookbook for us grandkids before she passed away, and her recipe is called Spicy Sugar Pecans, and I'll share hers with you later. And I've just kind of taken that over the years and edited it for convenience and new ingredient things that we have available. But first we are going to make sort of a low carb, zero sugar top pecan that I've made before. It's always a hit. And I thought, it's the holiday season. I will share this with y'all today. So before we get started, Holly's running around here. She likes to be under my feet. Hopefully she's not going to get under my feet while I'm on this video, because I'm not a good editor, and so we're just going to have to roll with it. And so we'll just see that from there. And I'm a terrible speaker. I'm just going to pretend like you're here in the bar stool with me in the kitchen, and we're just going to cook some pecans. So anyway, of course somebody is calling because that's what they always do. We have a masonry company, if you don't know that, and so we're gonna just get started. So first, we have a big bowl, and it doesn't matter, the bigger the better, because you're gonna make a mess, and some pecans, and I bought this bag just for y'all, because my dad loves to pick up pecans for us, and so we have plenty. But you know how the internet is, so I just thought, well, I'll just buy a bag. So we got a bag here. This bag says 1 pound, which is also 4 1/3 cups. And so you take your pecans, and then hopefully y'all can see this well. I'll try to get closer to the camera as we go. And then first, I like to use these skinny syrups. Now, this says 80 calories. And you could use any of the others, like the Jordan's skinny syrups or whatever. This is just one I've had on hand. So you can use it, and it's no fat, no sodium. This one has 20 carbs. So anyway, whatever. You're starting out with 20 grams of carbs. But you can use the Jordan skinny syrups. That would be better. And I have in the past. This is just what I had on hand. So use whatever you have on hand. And on your pecans, you don't want to get them puddled, and it's gonna kind of roll off of them, but you're gonna use it to coat and coat and coat. So you don't want too much liquid. And I don't know how to tell you, I just kind of go with what I'm feeling at the moment. So I've got my trusty slotted spoon. I'm gonna stir that around. It is kind of puddled in the bottom. That's okay, because you're gonna put the sugars in next. So I'm gonna do cinnamon next. And it doesn't take a whole lot. Just kind of sprinkle it over the top. Hopefully y'all are seeing that. And sprinkle it over the top. You don't want it to be too overpowering. Go ahead and stir that in. And then I like to use all the brown sugar. To me, that's what really gives these pecans their flavor. So this one is Pyre organic brown sweetener, 0 sugar, 0 glycemic index, 0 calories. It has erythritol in it, so if you don't like that, don't eat it. Get a different kind. This one actually has 8 grams of carbs, so I guess I should have said no, it's not no carb, it's low carb. How's that? So there, we're using this one. I've used other kinds in the past too. I just always kind of grab whatever I see and try it, because making candy with these other kind of sugars, for us non-pros is a little tricky. Because it'll get real runny on you, but you have to just kind of trust the process. So that's why I decided to do a video. I've had so many people over the years say, hey, how do you do that? And I'm like, it's just easier if I just make them for you. But what if I die and this would not pass on? So here you go. Saving this for all of the internet. I don't think that was enough. That was about half the bag. I'm gonna add some more. And this is just what I do. Just keep adding. Okay. So between the liquid and the brown sugar, I'm gonna zoom in on this so you can kind of see how everything is really well coated there with the brown sugar. So that's kind of how it needs to look with whatever you're using. Okay. And then next, got all my other ingredients here for the other ones. We'll do that next. We're gonna use, I got this monk fruit sweetener. It has erythritol in it too. It says 0 net carbs, 0 calorie, keto friendly. Although on the back of the bag, it does say 8 grams of carbs. And that's for 2 teaspoons. We're gonna use a lot more than 2 teaspoons. So again, do your own deciding for your own health and whatever you want, whatever you're trying to achieve. Okay. So with your white sugars of whatever kind you're using, you want it to be really good and coated for this first round. We're gonna add more later, but for this first round, I'll show you in a second. You want it to, see how it's like sticking in the spoon there? You want it to be like that. That's when you know you've got it right. Okay, so just a little bit of salt, add more or less, whatever. You can leave the salt out. So that, whoop, is how it should look. All right, so next, I have my oven on 350, and that's very tricky because you want this to not get too hot and scorch, and so you have to keep an eye on it. Use non-stick foil. Trust me on this. If you use regular foil, you're gonna be so disappointed. There's a little glue tab on there. Get it out past the glue. And then pour it out. Scrape all the sugars out of the bowl. And then you want them spread apart as much as you can so they all kind of toast well. And it's okay if the sugar's clumped up, it'll melt down. Okay, so that's spread out like that. We're gonna put this in the oven. Okay, so I'm gonna show this to you again real quick. And so that's gonna stay in the oven, 227. We'll check it in about 5 minutes, kind of see how that sugar's doing. Stir. Every time you open the oven, pull the pan out, let it cool down, stir, pop it back in for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your oven each time. And the process is to like recoat. You're kind of like candy dipping those pecans and letting that recoat until all of your liquid is stirred up and those pecans are getting really crispy on the outside with the sugar. And then we're gonna pull them out and cool them quick. So we'll pull the foil off and lay it on the cold countertop and let that batch cool off while we're making the next one. So I'm gonna bring all this over to you so maybe you can see it a little bit better. Cinnamon. Your kind of fake brown sugar, if you want to call it that, whatever, no carb, low calorie, whatever you got. Vanilla syrup. Now I have used hazelnut and other flavors, you can do that too. And then the monk fruit sweetener on this one. And then just a dash of salt. So we'll keep an eye on it. Like I say, every 5 minutes or so we'll come back. I'll show you what that looks like, and we'll just go through this process together. Okay, I got a phone call and we're back, and we're gonna open the oven, see what it looks like. See all that melted sugar there? We need to get that out and toss those around, and let the sugar cool down so it doesn't scorch. So I'm gonna do this one-handed. Oh goodness. I'm gonna cool that oven off, leave that door open. So, see how wet it is? It's okay. Especially since this is like the cheater sugar. Just stir that around so everything coats good. Another thing that I do, regardless of what type you're using, is every time I bring it out, every time I bring the pan out, sprinkle more white sugar on. This is still our monk fruit kind. And just get a handful and coat. Doesn't matter if some gets in the middle. We're going to stir all that around anyway, so sprinkle it on. Coat everything really good. This is where it gets messy in the kitchen too. Okay, so everything's very powder coated, and then kind of had a minute to cool off. You can spread that syrup around, put it back in the oven, and then we'll come back in a few minutes. Hey, we're ready to check them again. Looky there. See how we kind of have some bubbles? Okay, this takes several times, just again depending on your oven and the weather outside, the humidity and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna leave the door open. Holly's looking for crumbs. Oven door is dirty, so there you go. We're just real here, right? And we're going to coat these again. Yes, I wash my hands. For all of you that's gonna ask. And I'm just gonna keep coating and keep stirring. I've got my bowl over here. Use the same spoon, just keep stirring. Keep them spread out. And when you can see that syrup starting to thicken, that's when we're gonna pull them out. And you just have to experiment and trust the process, and you'll get used to it. Okay, spread them out. Okay, there we go. It's gonna go back in the oven again. Check it again in a few minutes. Okay, one more time. Let's check and see what this looks like. Oh, it's starting to get hot. Alright, so see that black one there? We're gonna stir this. Cool it down. Hopefully y'all saw that. Okay, so we're gonna pull it down. We're gonna do another round of sugar. We're gonna stir this up. So this is just a process, a little bit of a science experiment. Every single time, like I say, even the weather changes how things react. Coating and coating. It's starting to get really thick and caramely, so we're gonna stop the baking on this one. Stop the heat. Alright, so one more time, I've already got everything lined up for the full cow version. I'm gonna do a little salt again. And we're gonna just see how it's already starting to thicken up. See that? We're gonna just let this kind of sit and cool off, and then every little bit we're gonna come back and recoat as it cools, and that will start to really stick to those pecans. You want the pecans to soak up all that goodness and not leave any on the pan if possible. I'm gonna put this over here on the countertop so it's gonna cool off faster, and just keep recoating and recoating. Okay, it's only a couple minutes later, and I pulled up the sides of my foil to kind of make that syrup kind of run to the middle, and you can really see how already, as it's cooling, it's getting thick. So just keep tossing that. You can, if you are doing something else, you can kind of walk away and just come back. I'm a pot stirrer. So I guess, apparently, obviously. So I'm gonna just keep kind of piling that on top, and when they are really starting to get sticky, then we'll spread it out. You can even take some new foil and dump it over on that, and then spread them back out. But for the moment, we're wanting all that sugar to get up on them pecans and stick. We just don't want the pecans to stick together. You don't want caramel, and that can happen too if you're not careful with your sugar. So sprinkling with the white sugar helps keep them separated. So as we're coating and it's cooling, I'll keep sprinkling that on too, to just get them all coated really, really good. Okay, you can see it's only a couple minutes later. I put the foil down on my countertop because this one I'd already poked a hole in it. But you can see all that liquid is now solidifying and turning into warm, sugary goodness. So you got a little chunk there. I'm just going to take your spoon and break that up again. Those little crumbles, oh my gosh, that's so good. So just keep stirring, and you can kind of take your foil and lift it up and shake it around so they kind of cool off. Break those pieces up. And you can see I added more sugar to the top of that while it's cooling, and that just helps absorb all your liquids, and it sticks and just makes them so much better. Spread that out so they cool faster, so you're not burning your mouth when you sneak little bites. And that clump there in the middle, oh, it's going to be so good. So see, that is just a double layer of foil on the countertop, and my pecans. So this is going to be perfect. Also, you can kind of taste one and see, careful because it is warm, but kind of see if it's salty enough for your tasting. If you feel like it's just too sugary sweet and you want a little bit more salt, go ahead. This is like the perfect time to do that right now. So next time we come back to this batch, we're going to be bagging them up. They're just going to sit here and cool. The longer the better. If you trap steam in your bag, It's kind of yucky on the pecans, so just make sure they're as cool as they can be. If you are in a hurry, you can leave your little bags open or containers open so that steam can kind of air out and evaporate. They're perfectly, yeah, they're not hot. Oh yeah, that's perfect. So this batch is all but done. They just need to go in the bag now. Easy peasy, right?